Our second cover focuses on the dynamic duo heading to Two-Face, who is hiding out in the tower with guns pointing at both of them. Ironically, there's two things that I want to talk about. First being the perspective seems to be slightly skewed as all three of them seem to be the same size as each other. Or I'm just being a nitpicky person. And also, why does it look like Batman is getting ready to yeet that person through the window? It's Two-Face's Tower of Terror, where people get terribly thrown to their doom. Issue 68 actually begins with a full page of Two-Face literally weighing his options of what he can do with his life. Hey, evil side is unfair. It has money bags. That makes it way more. Back to the actual story though, as Two-Face puts away his coin since it didn't make a choice for him, leaving the rest of it to life in the way that it works. A cop then interrupts their speech and shoots at our villain, who pretends to be hurt only to strike the cop, and Batman allows him to get away. We then see that Two-Face coin saved his life, convincing him to continue his life of evil. You know, if it had hit the good side of the coin, he'd probably be one of those people saving us from this virus. We jump to 1 week later as Two-Face flips his coin for another crime and it lands on the good side, so he ends up robbing a tennis doubles match and demands people give to charity. You know, this is like when a celebrity tells you to donate to a good cause, but don't actually donate themselves. Kinda defeats the purpose, you know? Batman is then invited to the home of Henry Logan, who is a rich man obsessed with matchsticks, to the point his house is actually made out of matches. 'Cause you know that's safe! But, dangerous housing aside, we learn that Henry Logan's double is actually the one who was kidnapped and not himself. Two-Face plans on using that information on blackmailing the real Henry, and Batman agrees to help, but only under his own terms, as the meeting with our villain is set. But their plan to have Robin pose as Henry's wife is quickly foiled since they forgot that Henry was a bachelor. You know, originally I was gonna write in a joke here about Robin being a drag queen, but honestly, I think the comic just does it for me. Let's continue, please. The group begin a tussle as Robin pitchforks as a stooge to the wall, only to have Batman swing, causing an avalanche of hay to spill onto the Boy Wonder. Hey! You stop that. Two-Face grabs a motorcycle in order to get away, with Batman trailing after him. The two begin to tango, making Golden Age puns as Two-Face digs in his pocket, knocking Batman out by throwing the coin directly at his face. Haha! It worked! Have a quarter to the face! Back at Henry Logan's place, however, once Batman and Robin have recovered, they try to talk to Henry, but he only cares about his matches. So Robin lights one under his foot. Young boy, you are grounded. Go to the dungeon, and I mean bedroom. The next night, Harvey is sulking over Gilda again and somehow fixes his face to invite her out on a date. But during the date, he ends up having the bad half of his face melt off. It's Meltman! With the power to melt. Gilda is more upset that Harvey lied to her about everything, but once the Bat joins the situation, he runs off, breaking through the window, basically teabagging Robin in the back of the head. Batman then tells Gilda that she has been under watch by him and Robin before we jump to later that night, where we find Two-Face inside of a building that turns out to be a wax statue place that Two-Face decides to burn down for the owner not giving him unmeltable wax. With Two-Facing destroying the wax maker's work, they now watch in ruin before we jump to Bruce questioning how the hell he'll get Two-Face, and we then go to a new guy named Getaway George, who befriends one of Two-Face's men, who brings him into Two-Face's gang, as we go to the next morning and the next caper after the coin lands good side up. We then go to the baseball stadium where Batman is pitching, giggity, at the police versus fire department game.
They don't call you Batman for nothing.
We learn that over $50,000 was donated, but Two-Face is there to steal it, but the dynamic duo are ready and take all of them down with a bunch of bad puns. But as the police surround him, he retaliates by taking the mayor hostage, allowing him to get away. Two-Face is then furious over the duo knowing about the caper, and George's alias is revealed to be the mask maker's son. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for... Wait. Wrong detective series. Our comic then ends with Batman quickly running in to punch him in the jaw. George and Bats then explain how they duped Two-Face, who is upset he has been the one ended up being double-crossed. So there you go, Two-Face's debut. While I find it a little comedic, I'm kind of shocked it wasn't just a one-off character that never went anywhere, but I'm really glad because without Two-Face, I don't think I would have gotten into Batman or superheroes as a whole for that matter. But that being said, join me next week where we decide to take a look at planet Earth with a specific hero and his Planeteers. Two-Face would reappear only one other time in the 40s and only twice in the 50s if you ignore any of the imposter storylines. This was done in order to favor more kid-friendly type of villains, and it wasn't until 1971 in the Bronze Age where Dennis O'Neil brought him back in the amazing story of Half an Evil, and since then he has been a mainstay of Batman's rogue gallery ever since.